He's back. Look who's back at Wembley. Had a nice day out here 8 days ago. Macaulay Langstaff, of course, a Notts County player, formerly though of Gateshead. He and Kedwin Scott, I think, are here today to support their old team, which is nice to see. There's also a few former Halifax players that have come to support their team, which is great to see. Friendships in football, very important. And this is a big game. Don't make the mistake of thinking the FA Trophy is a kind of sideshow or a compensation or a consolation prize. It isn't. It matters to FC Halifax Town and to Gateshead. A big prize at the end of a tough season for Mike Williamson, Chris Millington, and all the fans that are here as the players and staff emerge to a rapturous applause. Let me hand you over to our commentators for the 2023 FA Trophy final here at Wembley. Of course, it's Adam Virgo alongside Dan Mason. Afternoon, fellas.
Afternoon, Matt. Afternoon, everyone. Great conditions here at Wembley for the 54th FA Trophy final. The sun even making occasional appearances too. The sun is certainly shining on Halifax Town and Gateshead at the moment. A meeting of born-again football clubs. It is the first time that any two Phoenix clubs have met in a trophy final. A mark of the problems faced by many in the modern era, but also a reminder that such things need not be the end of the road. Halifax are looking to win their second FA Trophy in 7 years today. Only 3 clubs this century have achieved that. The Shaman beat Gateshead on their way to their 2016 Wembley triumph. Might that 4th round victory, clinched on penalties, be an omen ahead of today's final, I wonder. The Halifax Town players being introduced to Debbie Hewitt, who is the FA chair. Also in the VIP party, Nick Robinson, chair of the FA National Game Competitions Committee, Paul Tompkins, the vice chair, and Alan Abel, the managing director of Isuzu UK. Gateshead have been defying the odds recently, winning quarter and semi-finals in the shootout, despite desperately depleted ranks. I'm sure that they will show similar defiance today in search of the club's first ever major cup win. It's been an exciting season in the North East. Newcastle in the top 4, and here at Wembley in the League Cup final. Sunderland and Middlesbrough made the playoffs. South Shields promoted in the North League, the National League North. Now Gateshead have their chance. Can they become local heroes? In a sense, they already are. A terrific campaign, culminating under the arch. Much more than they could have dreamed of even a few months ago. Now they're here, they'll want to finish the job, likewise Halifax Town. But before battle commences this afternoon, we will have the traditional prelude to a Wembley final, a rendition of the national anthem. Both sides come into today in excellent form. Halifax Town unbeaten in 9 League and Cup games coming into today. Gateshead have finished the season with 9 wins out of 12. This is the way that Halifax line up. The break after the regular season has allowed the Shaman to get some key men fit again. Jack Senior captains the side, having missed the end of the season. He's joined in defence by Jesse Deborah, who returns after 2 months out. Halifax have failed in their bid to overturn the suspension of top scorer Manny Desaruve, so Rob Harker continues up front. He scored 4 goals in his final 5 games of this season. As for Gateshead, well, James Montgomery keeps his place in goal. Otherwise, their team more or less picks itself. Only 13 senior players are available for the Heed. 2 of them are keepers. Gateshead are therefore grateful to have Kenton Richardson fit again. 20-year-old Camel Conti and captain Greg Ollie are key figures in midfield, while Aaron Martin starts up front. The former Halifax player has scored only twice so far for the club. The message today from Chris Millington is that the players must seize their chance, potentially a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. They won't leave anything for granted. No regrets. Mike Williamson, or Iron Mike as he is sometimes referred to in and around the club, has revitalised them, building a promotion side from scratch and then keeping them in the National League. So Adam Virgo, time to put you on the spot. Who do you think could be a potential match winner here today?
Well, I think we've got 2 excellent match winners in both sides that I'm certainly looking at today. And this player in particular for me, when you're looking at players that are now finding their form and certainly finding their feet and changing the fortune of a side in that final third, Ali is certainly that player. A player now is playing with confidence, confidence on the ball, confidence in front of goal, and they'll certainly be looking at him to try and provide something. Well, I've been a massive fan of this player all season, and for me, put him into my National League team of the season, I think he's been superb. When you're looking at somebody that the way that they want to play, the implements, the style, the quality that he's got on the ball is certainly superb.
And the ball arriving in a novel way. What you don't know is that it is Adam Virgo that's controlling that small vehicle. Don't crash it, Virgs. I defy you not to smile when that thing comes rolling towards the centre circle. Almost upstaged referee Darren England, isn't it? Now they do say, don't they, that on a day like this you must play the game and not the occasion. Easier said than done though, especially on a stage like this. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for many of these lads. Halifax Town in blue will get us underway. 2 points between them and Gateshead in the final table, 11th and 14th respectively. I think we can expect a very close contest today, Adam.
Yeah, very, very close game. I think styles make matches. I think we've got a good balance here for both sides that have really found their form towards the back end of a National League season, when you really thought at the first half of the season that things would go from bad to worse.
It's taken Halifax a little while to find their best this season. Too late to gate crash the postseason, but maybe just in time for today's showpiece occasion. Drifts through to James Montgomery, who's got Wembley pedigree in those genes. He is a relative of the famous former Sunderland goalkeeper Jim Montgomery, who made that memorable save 50 years ago in the 1973 FA Cup final. What a shock that was that day. Leeds United, the mighty Leeds United then, defeated by Sunderland. And you wonder if it's an omen for the likes of Gateshead. It's there by Story. Instead of overcoming incredible adversity just to make it this far. Demonstrating remarkable character and will to win. They surprised everyone, including themselves, I think. It's already been a brilliant season. It could yet become a historic one. Jack Senior for Halifax, back in the side today, captaining his local team.
I think when you certainly look at both teams today, I think, as the boys spoke about pre-match with Matt Smith, it's what Gateshead do with the ball that is so good. It's vitally important the way that Halifax defend without the ball. and then what they do with the ball when they win that ball back. They can spend a lot of this game without the ball in terms of the way the Gateshead want to play through the thirds, play out from the back. But they can keep the ball, play that ball in behind, which they do so effectively. That's where they could certainly get a lot of joy.
They don't score an enormous amount of goals, Halifax. One of the lowest scorers in the National League this season, but defensively they've been getting it right, particularly in the final third of the season. Very forced to kick long. Quite get it under control. Conte voted the fans player of the season recently. He's had an outstanding campaign, his first in senior football. Gateshead finished the season with a 4-0 win over Maidenhead, having beaten Boreham Wood away a few days earlier. Really have come into their own in 2023. Williamson's team were bottom of the National League in December, and many people's favourites to go straight back down.
I think what certainly will be a pleasing aspect of them, he's kept to his principles, the way that he wants to play. Difficult start to National League life when you lose the likes of Langstaff and Kedwin Scott, and you lose injuries, and it's just, you know, the way that they sign players had to be so important, and it took a long time, I think, for them to adjust. But you have to say the second half of the season been so consistent, been brilliant to watch.
Campbell's touch, good away with that time, and mopped up by Jesse Deborah. Conte. It's very much a scratch side today for Gateshead. 4 players cup tied, including striker Marcus Dinanga. 4 more are ineligible. They lost Ethan Pye as well, recalled by Stockport, key player for them in the latter part of the season. Ed Francis, meanwhile, recalled by Notts County. So there are a few square pegs in round holes in this Gateshead team. Here's Robbie Tinkler. Ward standing over on the left-hand side today. Story. Tinkler now. Magnay. Played all over the place as Gateshead have desperately struggled with selection problems. He's a fullback by trade. He has been playing in defensive midfield recently. Here he is again. Very much the senior player in the side. Looking for options, finding Owen Bailey, another man who's had to play in a lot of different positions recently. Gateshead reckon that the tight-knit nature of the squad has made them an even better team, boosting morale and doubling their determination to overcome the various difficulties. Looking long, Owen Bailey couldn't get onto it. Already Gateshead demonstrating their plan to play some possession football today. Magnay, nice ball into the path of Campbell. And Gateshead will get a corner. Good strong challenge from Jack Senior.
Our first moment of the game that we've had so far. Gateshead with that patient build-up and then finally threading the ball through the lines, and this time it was Campbell trying to make that run in behind Senior, who makes a real timely challenge.
Adam Campbell definitely among the potential match winners today. 16 goals in all competitions this season, and he'll be a threat from this Greg Ollie corner. And the secondary delivery blocked. Halifax clear through Tyler Golden. Nice defensive work though from Town. Still under pressure. Been awarded a free kick though. Magnay penalised.
That's one of those free kicks sometimes that you do get and you just kind of fall on the ball. Soft free kick that you can win sometimes. I was an expert at that, but
I'll bet.
But the referee this time saw otherwise against Magnay.
Well, Magnay's younger teammates call him Uncle Carl, apparently, but he loves that. 34 years of age now. Harker, surrounded by white shirts. Doing well, Rob Harker. Winning Halifax Town a corner. He was fighting a lone battle there, but did well to get something out of it.
Yeah, did really well. Didn't really have too many options around him apart to go from himself. The best of a bad situation to win his side a corner. He certainly fit in the role well since Isirue's been missing down the middle. I think that game time has really helped with his confidence.
Halifax will try again. And Bailey getting in the way of Miliali that time. Harvey Gilmore taking over on set-piece duties. Halifax player since 2021. The referee has got a problem here. There's a brief coming together between Jack Hunter and goalkeeper Montgomery. Hunter, a former Gateshead player, of course. This time last year he was celebrating promotion to the National League with them. Running interference in front of Robbie Tinkler and goalkeeper Montgomery. Tinkler won't let him go. Gilmore's delivery, deep, well taken by Montgomery. Trying to get Gateshead away on the counter-attack immediately, but Halifax swiftly back in possession with Gilmore. Deborah lost out. Quentin Richardson now. Halifax get the throw. Well, both sides having periods of possession in the opening 10 minutes here, but neither Chris Millington's men or Mike Williamson's side really threatening an early goal. It might change here because Jesse Deborah's going to hurl in a long throw. We all know what a dangerous weapon that can be in the National League. Plenty of altitude on that from Deborah. And Tinkler should clear. It's just the delivery of the throw that sometimes causes panic in National League defences.
I think as a defender, I do find it harder when I used to play against players with long throws, harder to defend than corners, because you can constantly practice defending and attacking corners, but long throws always come across every now and then when you know you're coming up against a side with a long throw. So not really practice as much, but the second ball for me with long throws are the most important areas.
Story. He's also first-team coach at Gateshead. Great lieutenant for Mike Williamson out on the pitch, I'm sure. Cook hold them all at bay and eventually winning the free kick for Town.
I think Gateshead are playing out from the back. I think Story and Tinkler are going to be the most important players because they're just leaving Harker up there to go and close the ball down, and the midfield are just playing very, very deep. So that's where Mike Williams' two centre-halves on the right and left-hand side can really drive forward with the ball.
It's been a great goal-scoring form as the season has ended. Rob Harker, 4 goals in his final 5 matches. Another player who Halifax have given a chance to this season, and he's done very well with it. Free kick. Deborah was trying to get on the end of it, but once again, Gateshead in control of the situation. There's Aaron Martin, who we haven't seen much of so far. hard worker up front. Needs a few goals. And he's stopped by Tinkler. Well, try and challenge that. Campbell. And Martin up ahead of him. Bailey. His early pass well read by Stott. Harker. Test of the pace of Tinkler. In the end, there was just no support up there for Rob Harker.
I think he's doing as best as he can at the moment. You're quite right there to mention that he's not really getting too much support around him.
Tinkler, a very consistent performer in defence for the Tynesiders. Big characters in the dressing room too, I understand. This long ball. Gilmore finds Golden. There's Cook, neat turn. Surging into the box, the door was swiftly shut in his face. Two Gateshead defenders. Greg Olliott was getting back, I think.
A decent turn there. They double up well, though, stop him going through in that situation. Just seems like little individual moments in the minute for FC Halifax when they do make their way into the Gateshead box.
Be a chance here for Bailey. Don't see that. The free kick goes to Halifax Town. Angelo Capello getting the congratulations of his teammates.
Yeah, good work there from him. That's a soft foul to be given away there. I don't really think that Capello had too much to do apart from clear the ball out for a throw-in.
Palmer, the Chesterfield defender, in attendance, returning to Wembley just over a week after the disappointment in the promotion final. Macaulay Langstaff is here too as well, isn't he? Former Gateshead striker, of course. I'm surprised to hear he scored a hatful of goals for Gateshead last season, as did Kenwyn Scott. They both moved on to county in the summer. One of many problems that Gateshead have had to overcome. Halifax haven't had it easy either. Chris Millington admits that he's learned so much in his first season in the top job. Difficult transition for him going from assistant to top job. He feels that in the last few weeks of the season they've set themselves some proper standards. Meanwhile, is making the whole managerial look easy. In his first full season in charge, and now Wembley final. Cleared by Story. Gilmore to Deborah. Got injured for Halifax in March while he was on England duty with England C. Surge forward by the big defender. He's got a turn of pace about him. There's the problem there for Carl Magnay.
Another long throw now to deal with for Gateshead. The throw will come in. You may win the first ball. You just look at the players on the edge of the box. That second phase, so important as a defender and a defensive unit.
Here comes the latest launch from Jesse Deborah. Quite as huge, that one, but still causing havoc. And free kick eventually given to the defending team. Premier League referee, of course, Darren England. 16 matches in the top flight he's officiated on this season. Gilmore. Start again. Change of formation to 3 at the back was a big factor in them building some momentum and some form in 2023. So too with the arrival of some great loan signings, many of whom cannot play today, unfortunately. Many of them cup-tied, many of them having returned to their parent clubs. It was the same story in the semi-final against Barnet. They raced into a 3-0 lead in that one, the Tynesiders. Barnet came back in the second half. Here's Deborah. Golden was hopeful of receiving a free kick, but the assistant referee wasn't showing much interest. I would say that the Halifax Town supporters do outnumber their Gateshead equivalent today. They've sold somewhere in the region of 7,000 tickets, the Shaman, making their presence felt. Been a good voice so far. This is their first trip to Wembley, Halifax, since their triumph in 2016, which was a bittersweet occasion, given that Halifax had recently been relegated, which certainly took much of the joy out of the day. But still, the goal scorer, long-serving Scotland Manus, later tore his knee ligaments in the same game and missed all of the next season. It was a great triumph for the Shaman. It's perhaps mixed memories of that particular day.
I think both managers will be fairly happy the way that their side have really started in these first 20 minutes. Neither really taking the real initiative in the game so far, maybe just with a pass or two just to try and break lines and be a little bit braver.
Chris Millington has got into this one with some assiduous preparation, no detail overlooked. Apparently the Halifax Town manager has spoken to other coaches with experience of Wembley occasions, looking for small, unseen things that might trip up town in preparation. No score here at Wembley Stadium between Halifax Town and Gateshead. Just approaching the midway point of the first half now. Gateshead on their patient build-up. Here's Louis Story. James Montgomery's grandfather's cousin that was the former Sunderland goalkeeper, if you're interested. I think that makes them first cousin twice removed. The real story, if history could repeat itself 50 years on. Richardson. Back from Conte. Free kick for Gateshead. After a surge forward by Richardson. There's a muscular presence in defence and attack.
That's Hunter there with a foul. Just often a little go happening for Richardson.
Stay forward for this set piece, I would think.
Yeah, certainly aware now for quality of Greg Ollie with the set play.
Plenty of targets up there. Conte has come forward. Actually, Aaron Martin is one to keep an eye on too. Louis Story, who scored in the semi-final. Can Greg Ollie conjure up here for the Heat? Goes in short to Campbell. Back to Ollie. Halifax Town head on it. There was a nice little variation from Gateshead, but it didn't really get them anywhere.
Yeah, Needers found the edge of the box set. There, the player just trying to win the header. I don't think he's going to get anywhere near it, so don't go for it. But certainly trying to work one off the training grounds. Teasing ball in there with the left foot, well defended, but Needers free kick to be given away.
One of the strange things about the FA Trophy final is the huge gap between the end of the season and the day when the final is played. I think the players do take a break during that time, but you would think they would have absolutely ages to work on things like free kicks and corners. It's too much time. Wembley today, Twickenham next weekend. BT Sport has exclusive live coverage of the Gallagher Premiership final as Saracens and Sale Sharks go for the title. Next Sunday, also, of course, the final day of the Premier League season. We'll have a live game and full coverage next Sunday afternoon. And another date for your diary. Champions League final, Manchester City up against Inter. You can see it with us on Saturday the 10th of June. After a long, hard season, it is indeed time to dish out the silverware, but will it be Halifax Town or Gateshead that claim it today? It's been a low wattage start to the game, I must admit. Maybe another long throw from Jesse Deborah can create a chance for the Shaman. Wasn't short that time. Deborah, that's not a bad cross, perhaps a little overdone. That sort of game so far.
Yeah, certainly comes a period in the game now, I think, when you expect a little bit more from the players. I think the occasion playing on the Wembley pitch, styles of play, but it almost seems like they play with too much of a break, and it just seems that they are still feeling their way into this game a little bit rusty in certain areas. I think the way the game's gone and why the game has gone, so I think Halifax has just done well to isolate the space in behind for Gateshead to utilise. I think they've defended well without the ball. They're going to be patient, they're going to be frustrating to play against, and I just don't think that Gateshead have really got into their stride into Halifax's box with the ball just yet.
Here's Adam Campbell to take matters into his own hands there with the shot, but it was stopped at source. Is the sheer size of the Wembley pitch a factor in games like this? Players have to adjust to playing on it.
Yeah, I mean, just seen when we've come here, we saw Notts County last week against Chesterfield with that high line in the first 15-20 minutes, really struggle with that. I've seen good players, individual players, really struggle on big pitches in terms of the space in behind. It does have a bearing factor. I know managers haven't quite always said it's a reason why they play well or they don't play well, but I do think sometimes the pitch is a major factor in the size of it. And maybe just this in the stadium as well, that players do adjust to it slightly differently to normal league games.
Good run this from Angelo Capello. Was he fouled? The referee says not. Another very successful signing for Halifax Town. It's clearly being tussled with by Robbie Tinkler. Was it enough for a free kick here?
Yeah, I'd say 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
He's international football for Belize, Angelo Capello. There's 5 caps for them. He has family here today who have travelled all the way from Belize, including his 76-year-old grandfather. It's a bit of a shame that it's not a better game so far. Is there any chance of that small car coming back out? It's Conte. Ollie. Foul this time by Richardson. Gilmore did well to make a nuisance of himself. Last appeared in March, Kenton Richardson. He's returned to fitness come a moment too soon. Another one who played in Paul Fairclough's England C match against Wales. He's injured 20 minutes in. Oh, chance, flags up. Wouldn't have counted from Rob Harker. In the end, James Montgomery ensured he didn't go in any case.
I wouldn't have known it was offside, James Montgomery. So he's pulled out really, really good save. Harker's already in the offside position.
Very tight.
It is, isn't it? It's Kenton Richardson. It's possibly the player. Playing him on at the top of your screen. Would have made a difference anyway, even if he was onside. A single would have been a good save, but finally we've seen a shot towards goal. Finally we've just seen something of a bit of quality in that final third.
He's already got 2 goals in this competition this season already. Rob Harker scored twice against Harrow in the 4th round. Looked a little bit isolated in the opening period of the game, but he's definitely got goals in those boots. There's Martin. Good goalkeeping that. Got Johnson to prevent the corner.
Well, the issue that Rob Harker got up front on his own, you've got your 2 wing-backs in particular that are just playing very, very deep when Gateshead have the ball, in Capello and Golden, and they just really are playing deep and they're not really getting forward. So when the ball does go up to him, he's not getting enough support from Ali, he's not getting enough support from Cook as well. And that's why they're struggling to really find him into the game. I think there comes a time when you have to maybe just be a little bit more on the front foot, maybe not show Gateshead as much respect with the ball.
Senior barrelled over this time. There's the armband with huge pride. He's given it this season when Tom Clark and Jordan Keane were injured, and he's revelled in the responsibility of leading his hometown club. And now he's doing it at Wembley. Stuff that dreams are made of. Conte. Martin trying to make something of it. Now, could be an opportunity here. Ward needs a bit of support. Conte offering it. Gateshead once again have to go backwards in order to go forwards. Magnet. Over to Richardson. Plays pass, Ali with a bit of space. Showed far too much of that to Tinkler, I'm afraid. Haven't seen much of Millie Ali so far. Definitely one of the potential match winners, but it's been quiet. Here's Aaron Martin. Capello's done well and is then fouled by the big striker. And a frustrating campaign for Aaron Martin. Hasn't started many games. The first choice up front would be Marcus Dinanga, who scored 7 goals in 18 games since joining in February, but he is one of the cut-tied players. Martin is doing his best to stand in for him.
I'm talking about Rob Parker being quite isolated up front on his own. I thought certainly put Aaron Martin in that category as well.
Only 2 goals for the club so far, both came in April's 5-2 win at Eastleigh. It's the sort of story you sometimes get in cup finals, though, isn't it? A player that's had a hard time who suddenly becomes an unexpected hero. There are plenty of other players vying for that title out there today. Three of Halifax Town's victories on the way to this final have come through penalty shootouts. Altrincham in the semis, as well as Maidenhead and Harrow. There were, of course, also 2 for Gateshead in the quarters and the semis. So the portents have always been there for this one to go the distance. And with 32 minutes on the clock, there's not a hair's width between these 2 teams. Wellington almost put Campbell away there. Sense that the players are starting to grow into the game a little now. Here's Golden, surging through the middle. And here's Harker, flagged down this time, but Montgomery very, very quickly off his line.
First time really that we've seen Tyler Golden going on that right-hand side with a real purpose and a bit more intensity. Magnay was trying to read the ball and maybe read the pass. It was a great little run there. Unfortunately, the through ball was just a little bit too much on it. I would have to say there have been more encouraging signs for FC Halifax than there have been for Gateshead.
Well, they're a little more direct, aren't they, the Shaman? Sometimes you sense that Gateshead are a little too fixated on keeping possession.
It's all well said and doing, and that's absolutely fine, but there does come a period in the time out where, like Williamson's side, you have to take a risk with a braver pass. You know, sideways and backwards looks nice and keeping the ball nicely. You have a little possession stat beside you, but when you're looking for those key areas to create space and you pass that ball into space, that's where you get your joy. Just at the minute, I haven't quite utilised that so far.
Ollie about to deliver this throw. He's the sort of creative player that maybe Gateshead need to really find his best, because they're not creating much at the moment. Magnay. Ward. Slice clearance. Corner if it goes. Which it does. Oh, it's been given the other way, is it? Oh, just for a moment there, I thought the referee had changed his mind, but it will be a Gateshead corner. Ollie on flag kick duty again. Could be another test for Sam Johnson in goal. Hasn't had all that much to do up to now. Ollie's delivery, better one that time. Header over the top from Owen Bailey. He'll be disappointed with that one.
Yeah, plenty of time and space, didn't he? Disappointment from his manager. In that first phase of play there, unmarked inside the 6-yard box. Free header, just got underneath it, got completely the connection wrong there.
One of those where you have to generate your own power on the ball. Not easy to do and get direction as well. Proved beyond Bailey on that occasion. Deborah. Jack Hunter, still very close with a number of players in the Gateshead squad. In particular, Owen Bailey and Dan Ward, who he grew up with in Newcastle. All three men, former Magpies Juniors players. Hunter. Capello. Ali. Tinkler could not be any closer to him. Here's Harvey Gilmore for Halifax. Capello did well. No one there to apply the finish to his cross-come shot.
Yeah, off chance there again. I'd say Chris Millington's side, they are creating slightly the better chances, slightly the better moments. And there is the quality missing though in front of goal just at the minute for both sides.
It's only Maidenhead and Yeovil that have scored fewer goals in the National League this season than Chris Millington's Halifax. 49 goals in all. The flip side of that is they have been keeping the clean sheets, 9 in their last 15. And certainly, Gateshead are finding it difficult to break them down here. Millington sees the day not only as a chance to lift a trophy, but as a platform for future success. Says he wants to use it as a springboard to really attack next season and go on to even better things. That's been a disappointing campaign for Halifax, who of course were in the playoffs last season. Certainly underwhelmed with their 11th place finish.
There certainly were moments this season. I think back to the 5-1 defeat to Aldershot and then the 4-0 home defeat to Woking, and you really felt then the frustration of the fans and no real identity and not really implementing the style that he wanted to do. You really did feel for him that, you know, he would be a manager that wouldn't be here at this stage of the season, but you have to give him full credit the way that he's turned this side around, especially taking over from a successful manager in Pete Wild last season.
We've got some exciting changes to look forward to this summer. TNT Sports will be the new name for BT Sport come the 18th of July, but we'll still have all the amazing sports that you know and love, including the Premier League and UEFA Champions League. It's a new name, same game. Here's Conte. Campbell. Ollie takes over for Gateshead. It's only their second visit to Wembley. Reached 2014's promotion final. Lost to Cambridge United. Here's Owen Bailey for the Tynesiders. Campbell's flick to Ollie. Not one of his better crosses, that, Greg Ollie.
Well, to say a moment that would summarise a game, that would be it in a nutshell. Neither side have really taken initiative in this game. Neither side have really controlled the game. Just kind of almost going through the motions at the minute, even for a Wembley Cup final.
Well, the fans have travelled in their numbers. It's been a very cagey opening half to the 54th FA Trophy final. A few have decided they've already seen enough and they're going for half-time refreshments. I'll have a cup of tea if someone's buying. Clearance by Tinkler. Ali out-jumped by Richardson. What could he do now? Millie Ali steps past Ollie. Still going. Golden. Good run from the fullback and deflected behind awkwardly by Louis Story. Halifax Town corner.
It's been a strongly A side, just with that bit of confidence, that bit of belief going into half-time. I'd have to say that the FC Halifax side look the likeliest side to create something at the moment. Just that ball across the fizzing in the near post. Good defending in the end there from Story.
Yeah, Chris Millington's side have not had any clear-cut chances, but they are looking the side more likely to trouble the score sheet at the moment. Ali to Golden, deflection on that shot, another Halifax Town corner. Pressure building on Gateshead.
Oh, Gateshead just switch off with the short corner. Just allow the little 2-on-1 situation there and a little bit of space on the edge of the box.
Gilmore it was with the shot.
Decent block in the end there from Kenton Richardson.
Got a reputation as a snappy dresser, does Harvey Gilmore. Has his own shoe business, apparently. Shouldn't he be playing for the Cobblers? No way through once again for Miliali. Successfully held at bay by Gateshead. He has been quiet in the opening 45.
Yeah, the curse of the pre-match build-up from me.
I thought I'd drop you in it there.
I've had a habit of that this season, but I think he'll be happy with the two managers. It's been quite a cagey affair from both sides. It almost feels like the teams don't want to make a mistake. I think that Gateshead are just playing within themselves at the moment. Certainly the game plan is working well for FC Halifax in terms of the way that they're defending without the ball and just trying to play on the counter and try and create those one-on-one situations out wide.
Conjure surging forward. Owen Bailey. Still time for Gateshead to sneak ahead here. Got a ball in that time. Martin won the header. Claims a corner, but he won't get one. And a lonely first half up there for Aaron Martin. This is the sort of service that he requires.
Just need a little bit more pace on the cross that came in there. And clearly the way that they want to play Gateshead, but you can clearly see the changes that have been made. There's just not that fluidity at the moment from Mike Williamson's side.
Yeah, we should reiterate that. Only 13 senior players available today to the Gateshead manager, and 2 of them are goalkeepers. They have a couple of youngsters down on the substitutes bench, well, more than a couple really. They have players who have not yet made a senior debut, just bulking out the squad. Ali. And Montgomery, oh, it's a dreadful mistake! Montgomery's clearance charged down by Jamie Cook, and Halifax Town have the lead right at the end of the first half. It's a freak goal, but on the balance of play, they probably just about deserve it. A triumph for persistence for Jamie Cook, and an awful moment for James Montgomery in goal. It took too long to clear his lines, and now he has egg all over his shirt.
Yeah, scrappy first half, but capitalised with a scrappy goal. But you have to say that it's probably a goal that FC Halifax certainly deserve. But you're right, you're looking at Montgomery here. When the ball gets played back to him, there's no real urgency there. It is a little bit short, but then you see it short as a goalkeeper. You've really got to take the ball. You've got to take the player as well. And there is a slight hesitancy there. And you've got to go through that a lot better. But take nothing away, though, from Jamie Cook, and say he's followed him well. He's closed the goalkeeper down, and he's got his rewards.
James Montgomery sold a little short by Louis Story, as you say. Nevertheless, you'd probably feel he could have cleared that with a little more conviction. Halifax Town take the lead, thanks to one of the scrappiest goals you'll see all season. They won't care about that. Shaman, a goal to the good. As I say, on the balance of play, they have just about edged it, and so are worthy of that single goal lead. Now Gateshead will be forced to come forward a little more urgently than they have been. Owen Bailey, Campbell, they could do with getting him into the game a little more, I think. Here he is again, Adam Campbell. Bailey. Richardson, out to Dan Ward. There's another one who hasn't had much of an impact from an attacking point of view, not yet. Campbell stretching for that, unable to get it under control. Holden's clearance helped further forward by the goalscorer Cook.
It's amazing, isn't it? You can see the goal, and then all of a sudden, just going into half-time, you just show that little bit of urgency by passing the ball with a purpose.
Well, the nature of the goal wouldn't quite have been in Chris Millington's game plan. But a half-time lead will be gratefully received all the same. They are playing 2 extra minutes at the end of this first half, and one of those has already elapsed. Here's Ali. Not really run from him, but eventually held up. Angelo Capello. Oh, he brings it forward. Time running out at the end of this first half, and that cynical challenge will earn Capello a yellow card.
He certainly knew what he was doing there, wasn't he, Capello? Decided driving through there. There's a great little run, though, made by Adam Campbell. Could have rode in that challenge. The through ball has certainly been on.
First player today to go into the referee's notebook. Certainly no arguing with that particular decision. Ollie Tinkler will take it short, gets it back from Campbell. There's the long ball from Tinkler. Last chance of the half for Gateshead. Bailey trying to shield it. There's Concha. Great strike, charged down well by Gilmore. And there is the half-time whistle. It is the fans of Halifax Town that can celebrate Jamie Cook's free goal, giving them the lead going into the interval. The Shaman just about the better side in a low wattage first half, but grateful for the confusion between Louis Story and James Montgomery. It is Jamie Cook's goal that separates the two sides at the break here. Halifax Town 1, Gateshead 0 at the interval.
We're all set for the second half once again, in the company of Adam Virgo alongside Dan Mason.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, you put it well. Ponderous is the word, really, for Gateshead, who were out a little earlier than Halifax for this second half. I think they're determined to improve on their showing in the first 45. As for Halifax, well, the season has been a wild ride for them. Ups and downs aplenty. They are 45 minutes plus stoppages away from lifting a second FA trophy. They lead Gateshead thanks to Jamie Cook's goal right at the end of the first half. Came as a result of a mix-up between Louis Story and James Montgomery. For the goalkeeper's sake, that his teammates helped to get him out of a tight situation here. What can Gateshead do a little differently in the second half?
We saw it when they conceded the goal, just a couple of minutes afterwards. They were just passing the ball with a bit more of a purpose. Instead of halfway through that first half, nice on the eye, but it was safe passing, a lot of sideways and backwards movement. And when you saw the movement of Campbell and you saw the movement of Martin in particular, they just kept turning out and didn't want to play that brave ball. Certainly a lot there in this second half for Gateshead to bring themselves back into this game quite easily. But they have to be a little bit braver on the ball. So I thought Halifax without the ball defended really, really well. The shape was very, very good.
Ward. Early corner in the second half for Gateshead. Tyler Golden and went behind. Desperately need to get the likes of Dan Ward and Adam Campbell into the game more. And the Tynesiders. Greg Ollie will deliver the corner once again for Mike Williamson's men. Goes in short this time to Campbell. Campbell again. The blue shirts back. Rather outnumbering the attacking players in the box there. Richardson. Out to Story. Sticking to plan A at the moment, it seems. Gateshead. Ollie. That was nicely done. Good interchange of passes, but Golden snapped into the tackle. The ball back for Halifax Town.
Better though for Gateshead, just had a little give and go, the little ball round the corner, just trying to create a little bit more urgency. Decent challenge there down that left-hand side.
Let's tell you that Gateshead have never beaten Halifax since the Shaman reformed in 2008. 11 of their 14 meetings have been draws. It's Bailey. Conter. Back to Bailey. So back where they started. Conter. Halifax Town throw. Really working out at the moment for the Tynesiders. Could be a farewell performance today for Campbell Conter, as he looks capable of playing at a higher level. He's on loan from Middlesbrough. Picked him up from Watford last summer. Went up against Borough in the pre-season friendlies, and he stood out like a sore thumb apparently. Conter, such was his ability. Here's Campbell. And Dan Ward. Halifax so very well organised in defence. Here's Aaron Martin. Campbell trying one, well wide of the target.
Not the most convincing shot there from Adam Campbell, but they're the little gives and goes that you're certainly looking for more, which you didn't really see much in that first half from Gateshead. Good pass forward, good positive run afterwards. Difficult technique, difficult shot there to really test Sam Johnson, but an encouraging sign at the start of this second half.
Like his manager, Adam Campbell was a former Newcastle United player. Didn't make quite so many appearances as Iron Mike, though. Golden hails from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. His family came to the UK when he was only 9. Signed for Halifax last summer, leaving Salford City. It's Deborah. The ball. Great challenge by Richardson. Johnson's clearance. Walker out-jumped, but the offside flag going up against Halifax Town forward.
Certainly the game plan will be working again for Chris Millington's side in this second half, just to try and frustrate Gateshead as much as possible.
Well, in that respect, the first goal was always crucial, wasn't it? And, of course, Halifax Town got it. Strange goal. But an absolutely vital one. It's Richardson. Conter. Ward overlapping. And has two in the middle. To settle for the corner. Positive signs from Gateshead.
Maybe a little bit more urgency. They'll ask more questions of Halifax, but well, Halifax have done well. They've met the challenge. They met defensively very, very strong. Scolded with the first challenge, and then Deborah came across to stop that cross coming in, but may have caused himself an injury doing that.
And of course, he's only just come back from his hamstring injury sustained on England sea duty. He might be absolutely at 100%. Golden's delivery, better delivery that time, and glanced just wide of the target by Owen Bailey.
I think he'd be disappointed with that chance. He had one in the first half with the header, now he's had another one. But I think this one is an easier chance because he's got the run on Harker, he's got the space, he's had the pace on the ball there. Just got a little bit ahead of it to not hit the target.
Does look like Deborah's in trouble here. A shake of the head says it all. Second season at Town. He's been a regular this particular season. Difficult to tell from that replay exactly what the problem is, but you suspect it might be something of a relapse in terms of the hamstring.
Yeah, he certainly has been nursing an injury, hasn't he? And the lack of game time from that back end of the season, coming into Wembley, coming into this game, probably pushing it a little bit, but manager taking a chance on it.
Chris Millington has team captain Tom Clark down on the bench, another man just back from injury. He would be the obvious replacement in defence, but Clark himself hasn't played since November, so they will be hopeful that Deborah can battle on here. Came through the ranks at Millwall, Jesse Deborah. Halifax signed him from Dulwich Hamlet. Deborah's going to give it a go. Certainly Halifax will be monitoring him in the next few moments. Another player down here. I don't think referee Darren England has spotted it because it's a head injury, really. Did have a glance there, the ref, but he's decided to carry on.
I wonder what the linesman's saying down there, because he should be waving his flag to get the referee's attention. It's a head injury.
Golden has the problem. Now belatedly, the American does get some attention. It's been a breakthrough campaign for him, his first full campaign in senior football. He's gone on to be one of Halifax's players of the season. So he's just nursing a knock to his lower back there, so maybe the referee was correct in not stopping play. Nonetheless, the 23-year-old. Marcus layoff to the goal scorer Cook. Goes down, and once again the referee is not interested.
He's in a good position there, the referee, to see that wasn't a foul.
Fairness to him, Cook was immediately back to his feet, putting in that challenge. Had a good end to the season, Jamie Cook. Started 6 of Halifax's last 9, appeared in all of them. Building some momentum ahead of today and took his chance when it came to it. Montgomery's pass, well allowed to turn, dispossessed. Really Ali. Here's Campbell again. He's not been able to show his pace, but now could be the moment. To Owen Bailey here. Deep cross. Golden is there and under no real pressure, able to clear and find Ali, who's got a lot of green grass ahead of him. Rob Harker is up there too. Ali runs into trouble.
Disappointing there. One-on-one situation, he could have gone inside and then gone onto the outside and used that space, but just wasted an opportunity there.
Halifax Town are only really here due to Miliali. He scored a 95th minute equaliser against Altrincham in the semi-final, virtually the last kick of the game. Took it to penalties. It's at that moment that Halifax started to sense that their name might be on the cup. Cushioning that one, back to Johnson, who still has had very little to do.
He's really been a spectator in the game so far, so concentration is going to be key for him now.
He's heading for yet another clean sheet. He and Eastleigh's Joe McDonnell got the most in the National League this season. So they share the Golden Glove Award. By Jamie Stott. Parker out-muscled by Story, who guides it back to Montgomery. Loose long ball. And Martin chasing, but offside. Very briefly a Halifax Town player last season, Aaron Martin. Played 4 times for them in the National League, scoring once. Hasn't had much of a look in today against Chris Millington's side. For both managers, of course, it's the first year doing the job, or the top job in the National League. Both have had tough times, but good to see that their clubs sticked with them. Stuck with them even. Just over 30 minutes left in the 90 here. Halifax Town very comfortable in truth. Some of their fans have already started to celebrate what they hope will be a second FA trophy in 7 years. Martin's flick on, all the way through to Johnson, who is yet to break sweat.
Yeah, they need to find a way to try and find Aaron Martin into the game, because just at the moment now they're just going a little bit direct, and when you've got the likes of Stodd and Deborah behind you, physical players, they want that aerial battle. just at the minute, Mike Williamson's side are really struggling now to play well in Halifax's half. That's been the issue so far. In their own half, they're keeping the ball fairly well, playing in nice little triangles that look decent, but his side now needs to be more effective with the ball when they go into Halifax's half, because at the minute they've been really poor.
Gateshead returned to the National League this season as winners of the National League North. They were demoted to that level in 2019 due to financial irregularities. The club came close to going out of business until taken over by the current fan consortium, which now owns the club. Here's Conte. Bailey tangling with Capello. Richardson with a throw. Gateshead desperate to build pressure, but it just been beyond them so far. Smashed clear by Jack Senior. Nobody in that Halifax Town defence has looked stretched so far, although I think part of the reason for that is because they have been so well organised.
What they're doing is stopping the space in behind the Gateshead players to run onto, and Magnay's now just making himself move forward and forward into midfield, a little bit more attacking. And then without the ball, he then drops back into the central defensive area. But they need to try and get Armstrong on the ball. They need to try and get Ollie a little bit further up the pitch. They need to try and find Dan Ward on the ball a little bit more. Just at the moment, those key players are not getting to key areas.
A foul by Angelo Capello here, who's got to be a little bit careful as he is on a yellow card. In the meantime, Jesse Debra has gone down yet again for Halifax Town. He's clearly struggling. It's not looking like he's going to be able to complete the game. There's not been an enormous amount of activity down in the technical area, but it seems now that there will be changes. They're going to throw on Luke Summerfield. Hasn't played since March himself, when he also sustained a hamstring injury. Looks like he'll be the man to replace Debra, who's similarly hamstrung once again, we think. Disappointment for the big defender, but he's done his bit so far. Over an hour played, and over an hour contributed toward a clean sheet. Getting a standing ovation from the Halifax Town faithful, who certainly appreciated his efforts. He and his fellow defenders have helped get the Shaman within reach of the silverware. We'll hope that Luke Summerfield coming on here can help clinch the deal. Hugely experienced player, Summerfield. Vast EFL experience with Plymouth Argyle, Orient, Shrewsbury and others. His first job is to defend this Gateshead free kick. There's Campbell's shot. Once again, it did not require a save, and that has been the problem today for Mike Williamson's side.
Yeah, I think maybe just putting off the challenge of Harvey Gilmore when it came out towards him. Just see the number 20 go and close the ball down really quickly. Just kind of hesitant to hit his head over the ball and hit through it.
I think that's Jesse Debra's family. Just consoled him after coming off. He's got nothing to be ashamed of. He's had a super game up to now. Just unlucky to suffer a recurrence of that injury. Interception by Ali. And there could be prospects on the break here for the Shaman. Crucial challenge there from Story, which just held Ali up. It's Millie Ali. And James Montgomery got behind it.
Decent defending there from Louis Story, because when you're in those one-on-one situations, when you've got someone with pace running at you, you certainly fear the worst. But what he does, he shows him away from goal, and he just gives him a little nudge, just there, just to put him off balance slightly. Then he can just hold him up, trying to get a little bit of support towards him as well. Richardson there couldn't quite stop the shot happening, but I'd say it was excellent defending.
Yeah, he showed all of his nous there, Louis Story. He has captained the side to victory here at Wembley before. Hebburn Town in the Vase. He is again at the heart of the defence. Very calm indeed in finding Ollie. Tinkler. Ollie again. Produce a little bit of magic for them. Looking for Campbell. He's found him too. Ward was up there, but Campbell couldn't quite pick him out. Good effort from Magnay to win it back for Gateshead. And here is Campbell. It's a shooting chance for him. It's blocked brilliantly by Golden. And now Halifax Town will surge forward. Will Parker not giving much chance with that long ball though.
Well, he's made that run several times, Adam Campbell, and they haven't really played that one over the top, and finally they did that.
Chris Millington's side closing in. There will be, you would think, concerted effort from Gateshead in the next 25 minutes or so. They've certainly been very, very patient up to now. As the minutes tick on, increasingly they will have nothing to lose. That's a better ball from Ollie. Great challenge from the captain, Senior. Taking a few more risks now, Gateshead. But is it too late?
Starting more questions now, aren't they, of Halifax's defence, where they weren't doing that in the first half. I just wonder when Deborah did go off if the personnel would change in terms of the formation, but he still kept with the flat back five. But this time Hunter's just gone in there as the right-sided centre-half, and sometimes just go into midfield and then Summerfield then drops back into that centre-half position.
What's Montgomery going to do here? Yeah, they're still going to play out from the back. I was wondering if he might go long. Instead it's Story. His pass intercepted. They're just setting little traps, aren't they, Halifax? And at the moment, Gateshead are stumbling right into them. Capello's cross is too deep. Neither side has been brilliant going forward today, has to be said.
Yeah, I've had opportunities and chances, but when you get into those areas, the quality then has to start to show. Too many miss-hit crosses, too many misplaced passes. No real efficiency, no real quality. Halifax could seize this second goal if they can play better on that counter-attack with that final ball, or better decision-making.
Montgomery finds Richardson this time. Magnay offering support. Here he is. Out-jumped by Jack Senior, who's really put a foot wrong so far on his return to the team today. Ollie. Conter. Halifax with every player behind the ball. Might be something Gateshead have to get used to in the remaining 20+ minutes here. Martin. Ollie. Magnay, good way to hang on to it. Story's pass intercepted. Summerfield now. Space for Golden. Summerfield pinging one out, looking for Ali, but Richardson was there. Can Gateshead do something with all this possession? That's the problem. Final pass not good enough. Stops long ball. Ali will challenge for it, but Beaten to it. Senior. His pass intercepted this time. Both teams having difficulty holding on to the ball. Conte. Somehow Capello took it off him. Ali. That'll be a free kick. Brought down by Kenton Richardson.
Quick feet there. Draws in the foul. Certainly was a foul there, a little bit too quick there. He's had moments in the game so far. Ali to impose himself on it.
Ollie it was with the mistimed challenge. Ali just tempting him into going for a ball he couldn't reach. Hasn't scored since going on a run of 6 goals in 5 games in March and April, Millie Ali. He has been quiet today. Beaten to that one by Bailey. Summerfield. He could have done with a shout there. Cook was waiting and came away with the ball. Ollie with another foul in a dangerous area, and I don't think he's going to get away with this one. 2 fouls in quick succession. And Greg Ollie goes into Darren England's notebook.
Yeah, just letting the ball bounce there. Cook there with a little nutmeg on the captain.
Gateshead were always going to be very dependent upon their skipper today to help create the chances. It hasn't happened for them so far, and with less than 20 minutes to go, here they are defending their own 18-yard line. Halifax Town free kick. And a delivery! Oh, fine save by Montgomery. How did he keep that out from Hunter? Point blank stuff. Summerfield's cross. And the whistle has now gone. Well, that would have been game over. James Montgomery with a very important save.
Yeah, how much he knew about this, I'm not too sure. He moves his feet really quickly across the line. Decent ball in there. You're right, it's Hunter there that just gets the left foot on it. Bailey's trying to mark him. Just gets that little foot in there. It's a good reaction save, though, from the goalkeeper.
Both players improvising really well there. Hunter did well to get the shot in, and Montgomery excellent in keeping it out. There'll be a change now for Halifax Town. Angelo Capello looks a little bit disappointed to be withdrawn at this stage. Matty Warburton, the player to come on. Interesting change at this stage. With Halifax defending a solitary goal lead, a defender off and a midfield player on. There's Martin. Time starting to run a little short for Gateshead. Campbell. A super tackle by Jack Senior, who's been excellent at the back for Town. Harker. He's past Tinkler. Can he hold off Story? Not quite. He's worked hard today.
Yeah, he has done, yeah. You mentioned in that first half, fairly isolated on his own up there, trying to lead the line and get something out of himself.
Taylor Golden will deliver the throw for Halifax Town. Second goal for them now. And they can start thinking about the trophy lift. Last season's 4th place finish for Halifax was the club's highest in the league since reforming in 2008. There was some disappointment that they didn't go on to challenge for promotion this season. The feeling is that there is a lot of potential in the squad. Something that they can maybe do next season. Now here's a chance for Campbell. Aaron Martin is up ahead of him. Another poor pass from Campbell. He has his head in his hands with frustration. Fonta's header. Flag is up for offside here.
We need the better players now for Gateshead to start stepping up in these final 15 minutes of this second half. When you're looking the likes of Ollie, you're looking the likes of Campbell, have to do a lot better.
Saturday, BT Sport comes live for the home of English rugby. Saracen and Sale Sharks battle for the title in the Gallagher Premiership. Live coverage from 2 p.m. This time next week, it's also the final day of the Premier League season. There'll be a live game on BT Sport 1. And don't forget about the Champions League final. Is it finally going to be Manchester City's year? We'll find out on Saturday, the 10th of June. Chance for Jamie Cook. Easy for goalkeeper Montgomery. Just over 15 minutes left in normal time now. May be about the sort of time where Gateshead start to throw caution to the wind. Nothing else has worked. Ollie. Part of the problem for them is they just don't have anything down on the bench other than very, very inexperienced youth team players. Will Harris is also down there. He himself is only 22 and has made only 8 starts in the National League this season. I'm sure that the youngsters will hope to get on and make a difference, but it will be a very big ask of them. Gateshead sticking with what they've got for now. One through hurled in towards Story, who's opposite number stop, cleared downfield. Campbell. Come again, Gateshead. Once again, stops there. The offside flag up to frustrate the Tynesiders once again.
I think Halifax done really well, just breaking up this second half. Not allowing Gateshead to gain any real momentum, any real control. Just certainly suiting Chris Millington's side. I think they've been thoroughly professional so far in this game and really offered little opportunity for his team to show anything, and they've defended well and they've taken that one chance.
Yeah, it's been a really resolute performance so far from the Shaman. Here's Summerfield. I've got word of the official attendance for today. It's just over 27,000, 27,374 to be exact. A very good effort from the fans of Halifax Town and Gateshead, both of whom have had a long way to travel. Will it be those 7,000 Halifax Town fans that are celebrating? They are edging ever closer. Some long faces in the Gateshead end. Well, Jack Senior has got a dose of cramp, I think. Remember, he's only just come back after a hip injury. It's the end of the season. And I'm told that he worked his socks off to be ready for today, while others were under instructions to rest and recuperate. He's been pushing himself to the limit. These players know that occasions such as these could be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so no more incentive is needed. Senior will be desperate to complete the 90 minutes as a Halifax lad. He's back on his feet now. Worked so hard today alongside his fellow defenders. And so far they have proven a very tough nut to crack. He's actually looking to complete a family double today, Jack Senior. His younger brother Sam's a rugby man and once scored a try at Wembley for Brooksbank School in 2011 before that year's Challenge Cup final. Apparently he's never let big brother Jack forget it, so maybe he can draw level with his little brother today. brother Sam is in the crowd, I'm told, along with 40 other family and friends. Very likely the rest of the town fans are getting ready to celebrate. Here's Conte. Gateshead still hopeful, and forcing the extra half hour. Bailey, it's fallen for Conte here. Good feet from Conte. And finally, a save is required from Sam Johnson, but for a goalkeeper of his calibre, an easy one.
Yeah, fairly routine one. Just a little bit of urgency, got a little bit of luck there with a little flick off Martin that wasn't controlled properly, but no real power in the shot. Same save for Sam Johnson.
Looks like it will be time for a Gateshead change soon. Stick with the game for now as Tinkler clears downfield. Martin could do with some support up front. He's found Campbell here. Adam Campbell, another tame shot. They're creating opportunities rather than chances. And they've just been very tame, very toothless in the final third, the Heed. Good header from Ward. Brave one too. Here's Golden. Into the last 10 minutes now. Ali. Good work from Millie Ali. Here's Jamie Cook. Slight stumble there from Kenton Richardson, who's got a problem. I think he's the latest player to go down with cramp on this Wembley surface. Another player who's just come back from injury. And another man who needs some emergency stretching. Richardson is one who's a real gym bunny. You can't keep him out of the gym, according to his teammates. The amount of hard work that he's undergone today meant that probably a calf muscle complaining a little bit. Seems that Rob Harker is also moving a little bit awkwardly. A lot of these players have given absolutely everything they've got, and a few are finding that they're running on fumes now. So a change for Gateshead. Richardson unable to continue. In truth, they may well have been thinking about introducing Will Harris anyway. 22-year-old striker. Scored in the 5th round of this competition against Banbury United. What they wouldn't do for him to repeat that trick now. Summerfield's header. He is again the veteran midfielder. Summerfield coming on has really helped Halifax to see out the remainder of the game. He's so calm in possession in the middle of the park.
He's a good player, Luke Summerfield. Someone that's a big fan of, you mentioned, controls the ball. He's got a great diagonal on him, switches play really, really well. He's come on and really controlled that midfield and kept Halifax in control of the game.
Conte. Tinkler out to Bailey. There's Magnay. Loose pass from Carl Magnay. Just what Gateshead didn't want. Halifax Town surge forward. It's Millie Ali. He's got Jamie Cook in the middle, but the flag is up. Struck the post in the end, Ali, but the assistant referee had already spoken.
And they've got to try and take one of these chances, just not allow Gateshead any opportunity to stay in the game. They are open at the back now. There is opportunities for them to play on the counter.
Further changes. Aaron Martin withdrawn. Young Ollie Thompson coming on for what is his 4th senior appearance. Never scored a senior goal. Now would be a good time. Made his first team debut in the quarter-final when Gateshead were desperately short of players. Started the semi-final under the same circumstances. And he's given a few minutes here to try and get Gateshead out of a difficult situation. We've got some exciting changes to look forward to this summer. BT Sport will become TNT Sports on 18th of July. But we'll still have all of the same sports that you know and love, including the Premier League, the UEFA Champions League. It's a new name for the same game. Gateshead here are desperately trying to change the story. Tinkler's got to whack it long here. Seniors clearance. Just under 5 minutes remaining in the 90 here. As Story plays a crucial pass, it falls for Campbell. Good effort, parried away by Johnson, and it fell to a safe area. Gateshead will get a corner out of it, and pressure is building on the Shaman.
Well, they've finally given their fans something to really get behind them. Deflection that goes out wide to Adam Campbell, who does strike it really, really well to pull a save out of Sam Johnson.
One last effort is needed from Gateshead to try and rescue something here. Halifax deal with the corner. Senior took an air shot. Unfortunately for him, it falls to goalkeeper Johnson. Well, he has had an enormous amount to do, the Halifax goalkeeper, but when it mattered, he made a very important stop to disappoint the likes of Mike Williamson and the Gateshead fans.
I said that when you mentioned he hadn't really been involved in the games. The concentration was always going to be key for him to be ready for that one opportunity and one chance for Gateshead, and managed to see that one out.
Ali. Possession now wins the game for Halifax. Luke Summerfield is fouled, which will help run down the clock a little more. And Ollie Thompson a little bit too keen to get on the ball that time. Well, if Gateshead do ultimately fall short here, they will still have a very impressive campaign to look back on. In March, they were still 2 points from safety, but then won 7 matches in a row in all competitions, including the trophy semi-final against Barnet. They'll certainly be disappointed to lose on their second visit to Wembley, but the campaign in many respects has been a success. With today the icing on the cake. Here's Ali. Couldn't quite play it into Harker. Campbell. Running at Jack Senior. But still Adam Campbell, deflection on it. Very good defending from Tyler Golden, who kept his head under extreme circumstances.
He did really, really well. He's had a couple of occasions in this second half where he's not panicked.
It's a real good player, Golden.
Yeah, did well there. Just looked over his shoulder. Just seeing Bailey coming behind him.
Definitely one to watch next season, I think, the young American fullback. Ollie just looking for the slightest gap in the Halifax town ranks. The problem for Gateshead is that there just hasn't been any. Chance for Gateshead. Will Harris going down, but the referee says dive. Oh, big decision by Darren England. Substitute Will Harris. Caution for simulation here.
That's really, really good refereeing. Getting to this late stage of the game. So much on it. But his positioning was excellent. He saw it all the way.
Well played referee.
Yeah.
So you don't always need VAR to get it right. Desperate times calling for desperate measures. We can't condone Will Harris, the act of Will Harris, but didn't accrue any advantage from it in any case. Another change now for Halifax Town. Max Wright coming on for Jamie Cook, whose goal still separates the two teams. Max Wright is another player that Halifax have got back fit in the gap between the end of the regular season and today. Here's Harris. Campbell. Ward falls backwards and Halifax get it away. There will be 7 minutes added at the end of this game. A roar went up from the Gateshead fans when that was announced here in Wembley. Ali. Harker. He is running out of energy very, very quickly, Rob Harker. If they might think about a change at this late stage, Halifax. Ollie Thompson. And the youngster provide a little bit of magic which saves the day for Gateshead. It's Ollie driving at the Halifax defence. Thompson to Story. Campbell knocks it out wide to Bailey. So many white shirts forward here. But Summerfield gets it away. Only as far as Campbell. Super blocking from Halifax once again.
Good challenge there, Matty Warburton.
There's just no way through for the Tynesiders. Halifax Town absolutely determined to keep this clean sheet. Golden able to get plenty of distance on his clearance, but Gateshead just keep on coming. Deep into stoppage time here. Magnay out to Bailey. Tinkler. Now Ollie. There's no way through for Ward, and Halifax can let it drift off. That brief respite on the Halifax Town defence gives me an opportunity to ask you, Adam Berger, who your player of the match is.
Well, I've given it to the player that's got the goal. That could be the difference for FC Halifax to win this competition. Just works so well in that final third. He's constantly closing down, defending from the front, and then closing down Montgomery to get himself the goal.
Another player that's found it hard going on the lush Wembley surface today. Jamie Cook may well have earned his team the trophy. He's also earned himself a nice personal accolade too. Halifax Town still hanging on to this slender lead as we go into the final exchanges here. We've already had 3 minutes of stoppage time. We were told that there would be a minimum of 7. Here's Robbie Tinkler. Halifax Town so close. And a little bit closer as a result of that misplaced pass. There are some very tired players out there for both teams really, but I sense that Halifax Town are working so hard in defence, but are running a little short on fuel. Just over 3 minutes left for Gateshead. They finished this game as they started, with plenty of possession, but not enough chances. Another misplaced pass, this time from Will Harris.
Well, I have to say that really does sum up Gateshead's day. I think the look of the fans says it all, really.
They've travelled in huge numbers, the Gateshead fans, hoping that their team would show the same. Incredible adversity that they have just to get this far, but the final has perhaps been one game too many for them. Desperately short on numbers for today's game. Players playing out of position. Very little in terms of options on the bench. Gateshead have still made a game of it. Ultimately, it will be Halifax Town's day unless Mike Williamson's men produce something very dramatic in the next couple of minutes.
To say it's been a defensive masterclass from Chris Millington's sides. They knew there were going to be a lot of time without the ball in this game. Disciplines, concentration's been there, suffocating the space in behind, pressing well from the front.
Montgomery's got to get it forward. Harris jumped for it. Summerfield gets in there just in time. Ward will take the Gateshead throw. Harris. Every single blue shirt behind the ball, as they have been for most of the last 20 minutes or so. Almost defying Gateshead to try and score. And so far they haven't been able to. Here's Conte. Another misplaced pass, that time from Harris. Anywhere will do now for Halifax. Ali's tripped, and that free kick will help the Shaman toward the final whistle.
I think that should be now done and dusted for those fans and Halifax Town.
Senior playing a captain's role in just motivating his players for the final push here. The fans also doing their bit, willing on the Shaman to complete the job here. They are so close now. Referee Darren England has consulted his watch. Looks like a victory for those from West Yorkshire. Stott's header. There's the final whistle. Halifax Town have done it. Chris Millington succeeding at the end of a difficult season and winning them their second FA trophy in 7 years. Not many sides have won two quite so rapidly. A real achievement this for Halifax Town. It's taken them a long while to find their best this season, but they've done it at just the right time. Jamie Cook's goal, the only goal of this contest, enough to sink Gateshead and their manager Mike Williamson. A defensive masterclass today from Halifax Town, and in the end, Bergs, that was enough.
Yeah, I mean, a real disciplined performance from them. When you come here, you want to try and play expansive football, but sometimes you have to do the other side of the game. That's won them the game, and I just think for Gateshead, with the players that they've had missing, the players that have been suspended, the players that have gone back on loan, it just almost seemed a game too much for them. Didn't quite see their fluidity that's brought them a lot of plaudits this season, but what I have to say, the performances I saw from Halifax Town at the start of the season to the performance I've seen today has really, really shown how far they've come as a team under Chris Millington, and they thoroughly deserve this. Not the best game on paper, but at the end of the day, it's about winning when you've come here, and FC Halifax have done that.
Great scenes of celebration among the Halifax Town fans. 7,000 of them here in the capital today. Awful moment for James Montgomery in goal for Gateshead, who will be having nightmares about his part in the only goal of the game. Today belongs to Halifax Town, and their local lad, Jack Senior, will lift the FA Trophy shortly. FC Halifax Town are the 2023 FA Trophy winners. And they were worthy winners too. Very much the better side on the day for me. And it is Jamie Cook's goal that was enough for them. Right, let's go pitch side and join Matt and the boys for a quick bit of analysis.
Thank you for the moment, Dan. Yeah, not a stone-cold classic of a final, but why would Halifax care about that? They've come to Wembley and done a number again. Beat Grimsby by the same scoreline in 2016, and they are FA Trophy winners once again here. Didn't really give Gateshead a sniff. They didn't really produce their best stuff. I would think they'd admit that. The boys in blue have done exactly what they came here to do. They have won. And let's hear from the goal scorer and man of the match, Jamie Cook, with Jeff Brazier.
Jamie, congratulations on winning the trophy. How are you feeling? You're looking emotional.
Yeah, of course. You know, it's every kid's dream to come and play at this stadium and, you know, to score, you know, the winner and to play like we have done today and battle through. And, you know, all the lads have put absolutely everything into this game. You know, it means the absolute world to us. You know, the way the season where we've had our ups and downs, and this is just the, you know, the cherry on top. It's absolutely massive for us.
How professional a performance was that from the lads?
Very. You know what I mean? These are a tough team to play against. They play football really, really well. And, you know, to stay in the unit like we have done, and to be as professional, as composed, as, you know, dedicated to the cause that we have been, it has been phenomenal. It's a credit to all the lads here.
Talking about your goal, you've obviously anticipated the back pass there. Did you prep for that? Did you think the amount of balls they play sideways and backwards that there might be an opportunity?
Yeah, we knew they overplayed a little bit, and, you know, I just kind of recognised it. Knew he was going to go back, and, you know, it happens all season, and I'm just, you know, thankful that this one has gone in for such an important game.
Had to weather the storm at the end there. It was obvious Gateshead were going to throw everything at it. Just how massive a win is that for the club?
It's absolutely huge. Absolutely huge, especially with the way the season went. You know, things haven't went the way we wanted to, but this is just absolutely massive. You know, we were here a couple of years ago, 2016, and to come back and do the same again, 1-0 win, clean sheet, never lost at Wembley, is just absolutely huge.
Thank you, Jamie, and congratulations.
Thank you very much, mate. Thank you.
Every successful team needs a scouser or two, and they've got one. Terrific to hear from man of the match and goal scorer, and he was kind of Jamie on the spot. He just sniffed half a chance and took full advantage.
Yeah, well, listen, he got rewarded for his hard work. You know, he worked tirelessly all afternoon, and right at the moment that counted, you know, he worked hard, he closed down the goalkeeper, and then yes, you need that little bit of luck. You need a poor back pass. You need the goalkeeper to kick it against you, but he won't care. He scored the winner, and he's won the trophy for his team.
Were they able to stop Gateshead from playing, or did they just not quite have their good stuff on today?
Yeah, I think the main focus is not making sure you play the occasion and you play the game that's in front of you, and obviously they've had 3 weeks or so now to plan for the game and looked at it and about the passing and the possession that Gateshead and to jump on stuff like that, and obviously the applaud is going to go to him for being on the score sheet and stealing the win. But you've got to look at the back lads from Deborah and Stott and Senior. They're well marshalled, a normally attacking Gateshead lineup to minimise them to barely anything. So as well as he's done to create the goal, they've done fantastically well to keep. I think Sam Johnson had maybe just one effort that he maybe had to save, you know, and they've shown that over the last sort of 5-6 league games as well, the amount of clean sheets that they've generated. So they believed in themselves that they would get that moment in the game and then shore it up again and protect it, and obviously come again here and get the double, really.
Yeah, and we talked about how many players Gateshead couldn't call on today, but got to recognise that Halifax couldn't use Manny Diasarue, who's been a real focal point for them, although Rob Harker did well. Lost Jesse Deborah, who clearly has aggravated that hamstring, you would think, again, so they had to cope with adversity as well.
Yeah, both teams would have been able to find excuses. But you can't afford to look for excuses when you get to a final. You know, listen, the players that go out there, that's what you've got, and you have to make it work. And Halifax did that today. To a man, they worked tirelessly. They made sure that they put in the hard yards. They had a game plan. They were going to sit deep. They knew that Gateshead were a possession-based team and had the ability to cut through you. But they sat back in the back five. I thought Capello especially. You know, he was so hungry and tenacious. I thought he was magnificent today. But to a man, they worked hard and they got their rewards for it.
Yeah, it feels harsh on others to pick out individuals, but that back five did work very hard, and Capello on the one side particularly caught the eye. And then the likes of local boy Senior and maybe Gilmore, they did all the tidying up in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, and any time that the ball fell in the box, you could see a Halifax shirt racing out to put pressure on to make sure there was no clear opportunities or any space for them to work the combinations that they've done in other games. And like you said, they well marshalled it. Whenever the ball went up, they were making first contacts, and the back three shape really worked. They could go and squeeze onto the attacking players and really prevent them from getting anything. And in the end, it was a case that Gateshead were trying to force stuff, and in their shape, they were able to turn the ball over and take the ball up to their end. They had a little bit of a warning sign earlier on when Harker was offside and the keeper saved it, and then after that he came about again and he's pounced on a mistake and scored then.
Yeah, it won't feel like it now, but they did an awful lot of good work, Gateshead, to climb away from danger and secure their status in the National League. So it doesn't get the happy ending this season, but maybe as importantly they keep their status in the National League, and we'll see what they can do in the summer and next season. But I guess we're now into the Chris Millington era now at Halifax. We move on from Pete Wild's team into Chris's team.
Yeah, we do. And the expectation will go up now.
Yeah.
You know, they've now won a trophy. They've had a really good second half of the season, a brilliant end to the season. So now they'll be looking at saying, right, can we get back to where we was last year? Can we be in and around those playoffs? Can we get another cup run? Can we retain the trophy? There's so many things for them to build on, but you know, after the start that Chris Millington had, you know, the future looks bright now, and there's definitely a lot of progression been made throughout the season.
Yeah, because I think both of these clubs have had their issues off the pitch in the last few years, so you never quite know unless you're inside what manager and staff are having to put up with, what budgets are promised, delivered, etc. But he's done a good job with what he's been given, shall we say that, Chris Millington?
Yeah, and obviously we was there in that game against Scunthorpe when obviously they had the turnaround in them and they had a bit of momentum going into that game. And when they came off that game, obviously the fans were very frustrated with the outcome of the match and looked really disappointed. And there was a little bit of angst between, you know, the players towards them. And since then, obviously they've grown from strength to strength, come through some vital fixtures to make sure they were successful and safe first and foremost, because like you say, they had a visit here last time and it was off the back of getting relegated. So this is a real positive situation for them to find themselves in now. It'll make the club look more attractive over the summer for, like you say, for recruitment purposes. And just look at the following, it means a lot to the town. They're here in massive numbers. I've played for the club and I know how much it means to them in the area of Yorkshire that they're in. And so they'll celebrate tonight and they make it last long into the summer, and then they get ready to go again.
We mentioned earlier when Newport Pagnell had to make the rather lonely, if you like, or dispiriting maybe walk up, but as you rightly pointed out, Aaron, you're here, you're at Wembley, you've got a chance to play for a trophy. Many players don't, and you've got to use it. You've got to use it, whether that's something for next season.
Listen, I think Gateshead, when you look at the season as a whole, listen, you've got to a trophy final and you've consolidated in the National League. You only came up from the National League North last season, so you've made huge progress.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you can't always look at a disappointing result like this as a failure. It's a brilliant credit to the club and to everyone concerned that they even got to this point. So they can be proud of themselves in what they've achieved. But yes, they want to go on and progress and kick on next season.
Yeah, Mike Williamson's job is probably to keep his better players, isn't it? Because that happened last year with Scott and Langstaff. Their better players will be, the Hawks will circle, the likes of Volley and Campbell will be picked out pretty much, although they didn't have their best day today.
Yeah,
Can he keep them?
But there's already a blueprint there in place. So like we've said before, it might not be who's out on the pitch. They'll be able to switch players and still have the same blueprint of how they want to try to play. Today they didn't get that in terms of the tempo, the pace and the smoothness of the passes that they had. And that was credit down to Halifax as well to stop them. But obviously, like you say, if you're looking at like you like to Notts County and the way that they try to play, they're trying to emulate that.
Yeah.
So if they can get sort of that kind of standard in through the door as well this summer as well, they've secured a place. The National League's a fantastic league to play in, and it will be attractive as well, Gateshead, in that sort of area in the North East, to get those players in that can be able to deliver the instructions that Mike Williamson wants to carry out, because you can see it. You've seen it unfold throughout the season. He's tried to play the same way, and maybe, you know, we spoke about it. Is there another way where they can maybe change their game slightly, maybe add something maybe up top there that might give them another dimension to be able to chuck balls in the box and make things happen a little bit more when it's not quite going the way and teams want to stop you from playing?
That's always the debate, isn't it? It's the one that we tend naturally enough to throw at coaches like Luke Williamson, like Mike Williamson, to say, Luke Williams, I should say, like, say, have you got a plan B? And they say, no, we've got a plan A that sooner or later works.
Yeah, and it's a difficult one, because in the playoff final, we looked at Luke Williams and you're saying, right, you need to change it. You need to get a goal. But he sticks with it, and if it works and you win, then everyone says genius. If it doesn't, then you say, oh, maybe you should have changed it. But do you know what? I respect managers that have a way of playing and they stick to it and they believe in it. And Mike Williamson's no different. And I've no doubt that he's going to be a success as a manager, because he's already made huge progress.
More from the boys, but players on their way up. So let me hand you back to Adam and Dan for the presentations.
Chris Millington and Tyler Golden leading up the Shaman as they go to collect the silverware. Not many have won it more than once. Halifax become the 14th team to do so, the 4th this century. It's their second FA trophy in 7 years. Very few teams have won two quite so rapidly. It's testament to the remarkable progress that Halifax have made since the club reformed 15 years ago. Halifax were in the Northern Premier League Division 1 North in 2009. Next season they'll go again in the quest for promotion back to the EFL. They were disappointed with their own efforts this season. Form and momentum returned in 2023, and the season has ended on a high after all. And in Chris Millington's first season as the manager too, he had difficult moments over the course of the campaign. He was the first to admit that. But he and his players have got things absolutely right as the spring and summer months approached. The trophy they've all been waiting and hoping that they would get their hands on. It'll only be a moment or two now before Jack Senior receives it from Debbie Hewitt, the FA chair. The 2016 triumph for Halifax was bittersweet, coming as it did so soon after relegation. Even the goal scorer that day, Scott McManus, sustained an injury that kept him out of all of the next season. This time around the mood is happier, and the Halifax Town fans can savour this victory all the more. Chris Millington first up. His team have very much done things the hard way this season, something we haven't touched on yet, but every single cup game they've played this season has been away from home, including all of the games in this particular competition. Can't say they're not worthy winners. Certainly they demonstrated their great indefatigability in the final today against Gateshead. Little touch of the silverware from Tyler Golden, one of the key men out there today, both fullbacks outstanding for me. Tyler Golden and also Angelo Capello. These players must make sure to drink it all in and make sure that they've got something to tell the grandchildren about. Another clean sheet today for goalkeeper Sam Johnson. A defensive masterclass from the players in front of him to help him out with that endeavour. smile on the face of Jesse Deborah now, who had to leave the game earlier after a recurrence of his hamstring trouble, but in the hour that he was on the pitch, he was another one that put in a hell of a shift. I think they're running out of space in the Royal box. Somehow Jack Senior's got to squeeze down there and lift the trophy, and no one will be prouder. Just to stand and watch Halifax on the terraces. His third season at the club. This will be perhaps the best moment in his career to date. Halifax Town have done things the hard way. They've earned this one. It's been a campaign of demoralising lows and dizzying highs, but it ends in triumph. Halifax Town are the winners of the 2023 FA Trophy. Broad smiles among the town faithful. It was an attritional contest at times today, the Wembley final. But they were resolute in their determination to see off the challenge of Gateshead, and very worthy winners, Adam.
Yeah, they were worthy winners today, Dan. I mean, we can sort of praise Gateshead for all their play coming into this game, but you have to say a defensive masterclass from Chris Millington's sides. The discipline without the ball, didn't really create too many chances, but it was a game of few chances, and they managed to take it. But you can't say, not even just today, in the whole competition, to go away from home for every round, 3 penalty shootouts, finding the way to this final and being the better team in the final to get this win. It's a wonderful occasion for any player to be lifting a trophy at Wembley, and for them to do it twice in the space of 6-7 years is a real class act from the club. And I'm really, really pleased for Chris Whittington, because I knew at the start of the season he was going into a difficult job, taking over it from Pete Wild. Had a really, really difficult start. He's managed to turn things around, and now look at these celebrations. Thoroughly deserve it.
And maybe it's the start of something even more impressive. Chris Millington himself makes no secret of the fact that he intends to use today as a springboard to future success. And after the end to this season, I think the Halifax Town fans will be believing that they can do just that.